In a recent conversation with CAG member Olivia Gobert-Hicks, she brought up the question, which isn't directly answered in the document: who is the document for? So this will be really the first conversation that any of the RC members have had directly on this topic. So I thought it would be enlightening to see what we touch on. And I'll remind everybody that this is just me and Scott chatting for the moment. We're not necessarily setting policy or agreeing to anything. We're just having the conversation. So, Scott, what do you think? Who is the document for?
Well, I tell you, you sent this question to me yesterday, and it's a very good question that Olivia asked. She has very deep insights when it comes to this. I think it's for everybody, but I think its purpose is probably a little different for everybody. I mean, every format has a philosophy of what it's supposed to do, who it's for, that kind of thing. They're not all codified. That's the difference with ours. We've actually taken the time to write it down. And so, but in writing it down, it opens up, everybody can read it, obviously. So there's,
Right.
So who is it for? I think primarily it's for us on the RC. I think it's very easy to make, you don't want to make any snap judgments or snap decisions or do anything. And the philosophy document, I think it can ground us and give us something to look at. For the players, I think it is, look, I think if players are playing and having a good time, it's great. When it comes to when their individual playgroups begin to degrade and somebody does something that makes it not fun, I think the philosophy doc can be helpful for people to get back on track. And I think there's some third things. I mean, we have, I know when we wrote the philosophy document, we sent it to a few people at Wizards to have them look at it, and they loved it. And I think it can help guide design of future commander sets. I think if anybody is designing a card and they go, maybe this is not something for commander, I think the philosophy document could be helpful along those lines. I'm not saying that WotC is bound to it, but I'm saying that there's a philosophy document I think people look at. I think when they design cards for standard and they design cards for modern, design cards for pioneer and any other format, they have a philosophy in mind. So I think that having one codified, especially when this format is stewarded by people that are not wholly at Wizards, is a good idea.
Yeah, I think we bring this around. First point is that it was very interesting to me back when we had the old forums, and we posted the new philosophy document. This version of the philosophy document, and you could see the hit count of each forum. And of course, we posted it at the same time that we did an update to the ban list.
Right.
And I noticed that 4 times as many people read the banned list post as read the philosophy document.
Yes.
So does that tell you that they don't care about the philosophy document, or that they already had some kind of grounding in the document?
Probably. Well, here's something I noticed. So as part of preparing for today, I knew we were going to talk about this. I went and reread the philosophy document. Right. And one of the things I noticed, one of the things that struck me is how 1/3 of the philosophy document deals with gameplay, and 2/3 of it deals with bannings. And I think that's probably indicative of the fact that we don't. I think our highest interaction we have with people who play the game and conversations we have are over card bannings.
Sure.
Why did you, whenever we do a panel and whenever we're taking questions, people are like, why did you ban this card? And, or why don't you ban this card? Or please don't ban this card, or please don't unban this card. And those are that is by far the majority of the things we deal with. And I think, and I get it, people don't want to have their favorite card banned, or they don't want their unfavorite card unbanned. So I get it. It affects people's lives. It can affect their wallets. I mean, this is a thing. But so I think that because people are, I think the bannings are more they're more real to people. It's something they can I mean, it's something they can feel, right? When
Yeah, they're abstract.
card
They're
they
not
play
abstract.
gets banned, it has a direct effect on them. Where the philosophy the philosophy section can be a little ephemeral. A little,
Sure.
yeah. I agree with all that stuff there.
Yeah, my
But
follow
talk
up
to me
was
about the
going to
bannings.
my follow up was going to be: is this just an artifact of the way that people already interact with other formats? Right.
Probably.
They don't see the Studio X philosophy or the Wizards of the Coast philosophy behind a format. They
Sure.
just see the hard edges of it. They
Right.
see this card is banned or unbanned. They don't know if, I mean, you and I having been inside a little bit, know that, for different formats, there's an idea of how they want the format to look.
Right.
We want Standard to have this many turns, or
Right.
we want to make sure that Modern has at least that many turns, or whatever. But those aren't articulated in place. So and they may change with each Standard rotation or Modern
Correct.
rotation or whatever. So we've articulated them, which is very different because they can actually hard look at them. But I agree with the idea with your thought that the bannings are science, and the rest of the philosophy document is religion, right?
Right.
It's something that you have to get your mind around.
Right.
But
it's art, it's religion, it's more ephemeral, and you have to,
Right.
you have to get your mind around the whole thing in order to encompass it. In reading through it, I think we've made it easy for people that don't want to read that kind of stuff and want more chunky stuff, in that we've bolded the things that are the most important, which I think is great.
yeah, I think was that Gavin's idea?
I think it was. I mean,
Yeah, it was when we were writing it. It was like, let's bold-face these things that people can pick out. Well, especially because we know that they're getting the input from an ostensibly visual medium.
right.
Right. It's not a book that they're or a pamphlet that they're carrying around. It's a screen, and those things are the words resonant experience are going to jump out at you.
Right, and I think if you're just giving it a cursory glance, it's hard to ignore the bold. So
Right.
I'm very glad we did that.
So does this question need to be specifically answered in the document?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, it is for everybody. It's for us to, like I said, keep us grounded. It's for the CAG to challenge, in case we need to update it. For players, as I said before, I think if everybody in a playgroup is getting along and having a good time, I mean, the format at the most is about fun. I think it'll help if things begin to go off the rails. That's certainly something I point people to when they say, but in my group, this happens, and I'm like, well, then you guys are doing something wrong. Philosophy document. And then like I said, for Wizards, I think it can help with card design. And so I don't think it needs to list all these things. I think if we didn't think the document was for everybody, I don't think we would have posted it. So
Sure.
I don't think you need to say who it's for or what sections are for who. It is a general guiding document for anybody that's interested in Commander on any number of axes.